Hey, AJ, you got me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, hope all is well. I wanted to ask you, when you look at a forecast like this on Sunday and you're seeing single digits, what kind of goes through your mind there, and especially at your position?
I'm thinking it's gonna be a physical game. Anytime you got the elements, which we normally have this time of year up here in Green Bay. Uh, Coming from the East Coast, I played in it a lot, so I kind of feel adjusted to it. I know what to expect, and these games tend to be physical, gritty, and just kind of back to the fundamentals, and really honing in on the details this week.
Cassidy Hill, go ahead.
Hey AJ, building off of that, when you were talking to the Packers during the draft process and when you first got here, how much did they reference your time at Boston College and about wanting you for games like this in this weather?
Uh, I don't believe really ever we ever talk about it explicitly. Being from BC, go out here in the cold weather. But I do think obviously having people, and we have a lot of guys from the East Coast and the Midwest in the team, and so there's a lot of guys who are used to playing in this environment, these conditions, and so I do feel like there is kind of not an upper hand, but a familiarity when you do have guys from those climates. So it's cool, and it's funny. I was talking to Jonesy today at practice. I'm just like, hey, like this is what you expect. Like whatever you do, do not go ahead and like take your cold hands and put them in something hot and then try to run back out there. It's gonna be a lot worse for you. So it's funny. It's got a bunch of jokes for the guys from the warm states.
Mike Clemens, go ahead.
AJ, you had a good day against them in a totally different environment at US Bank. But have you and Coach Ben talked about, they may have something different for you in this game Sunday night?
No, I mean we've looked at the game plan. Not just myself, but the entire team, and we're just looking to get out there and do what we need to do, execute. But we prepare. We trying to look at everything that they got, and the coaches are trying to put us in the best position possible. I might have had a good game last game, or whatever, but we didn't win. So that's the most important stat to me, and hopefully, or we're gonna make sure that outcome is different this time.
Steve McGargy.
I'm just wondering if you can remember what's the coldest game in which you've played thus far when growing up, whether it be in high school or BC or whatever. You have any if you remember that.
Yeah, I got two games where I can believe. I got one game. I don't know what the temperature was, but it was in high school, and we were playing. For anybody who happens to be from the East Coast or Massachusetts, I was at Lawrence Academy. We were playing at St. Sebastian's, and it was single digits, windy. It had rained the day before, so the ground was all slick and it was on turf. It was just awful. And this is high school, so we had no heated bench, no big coach, anything like that. I just remember that was just that was a tough one. But one that people may recall is the Pinstripe Bowl my freshman year at Boston College against Iowa. We played at Yankee Stadium, and they don't have heaters underneath their field because it's a baseball field. So, and they normally don't play that late, or never do play in December. And man, we were skating out there. Half the team had their gym shoes on. Some people had on cleats. Some people had molded. I looked like a guy in Scooby Doo running away from a monster, just not going anywhere. So that it was freezing, but I played in a fair amount of cold games.
Cassidy, go ahead.
We're just going to keep talking about the weather, I guess. Kenny Clark was explaining yesterday what it's like from a defensive point of view to try to tackle a running back like yourself when it's that cold. Can you ever tell during a game, like, I'm getting to them. They're about to start giving up and not hitting as hard.
Absolutely. Going back to my time at BC, because I obviously haven't played in too many games here with the Packers in these conditions yet. Only going into year two now. So going back to BC and playing in high school and things like that, as the game goes on, as you start, everybody's fired up, everybody's hot. Then you come back out for half, and it's like, do we really have to go out there for the second half, back in the cold? And then the time the third quarter comes around, the fourth quarter, on both sides, it's really just who imposes their will. offense, defense, whoever's imposing their will at that point, just in my experience, tends to, have the upper hand.